Welcome to RE Uncut. Our daily shows are powered by CoreLogic and supported by Printforce, Rockend and Realty.com.au.
Hello and welcome to another week of RE Uncut. Turn up. You cannot be off work at work. When you turn up, you need to be there 110%. This week, Mark Frater catches up with Raywhite business owner Andrew McSweeney. Andrew has continued to grow his business in some pretty tough times, as most of us have. And he's got some really sound advice based on his experiences. Mark Frater with Andrew in just a moment.
In today's market, great ideas alone simply aren't enough, but innovative execution can hand you a real competitive advantage. Nightlight is a cutting-edge illuminated signboard by Printforce that offers round-the-clock visibility and features that maximise advertising space, improving your exposure. Buyers can now see the full picture, day or night, with Nightlight's edge-to-edge illuminated surface, which utilises environmentally friendly, scratch-resistant technology. Nightlight is as versatile as you need to be in today's market.
Well, welcome, Andrew. It's good to be talking to you again in these unprecedented times, and looking forward to a number of the points you're going to make. And whilst this, I guess, is aimed a lot at leaders, I think it's important to point out that each of these points that you're going to talk about over this week really do pertain to every salesperson as well, whether they're in a small business or a large business as well. Isn't that right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So the first one I want to turn up, we're talking about obviously COVID. We're talking about unprecedented times, as I've just said. Let's get the things off and start talking about some of the lessons that have been learned through these tough few months. And the first one that I want to sort of introduce to you and get you to explain to us a little bit more is turning up. What do we mean by that?
Well, mate, I think that from a leadership perspective, obviously, particularly through these times being a little bit unprecedented, as we suggested, certainly haven't seen anything like this in 25 years of my career, but each of your staff members are probably going to look for you for different things, and they're probably going to respond very differently to this whole situation. Obviously, very differently as well. So, from my perspective, I heard a lot of chatter behind the scenes about principals just simply not turning up and not having a firm plan in place, or sort of burying their head in the sand. I think from my perspective, it's just very important that effectively, first and foremost, you literally just turn up and be present.
And Andrew, is that turning up physically, mentally? How would you sort of define that word, mate, those two words, turning up?
Everything, mate. Like your physical presence, mate. I mean, if you're not there, then why should they be? I think that, obviously we had a lot of restrictions around what we could and what we couldn't do, but for me, just not being there, I just felt like I gave up. So I just didn't want that to filter through to the team. And everybody did turn up.
Yeah. And mate, I guess when we talk about turning up, there would be some more focus on some of those parts to running a business and being a leader that you would put more emphasis on with regards to the meetings you're having, the strategies in all your departments. Yeah,
absolutely. I think that, as I said before, mate, everybody's wants and needs are going to be a little bit different, and everyone's going to react very differently to all of this. So, having a focus on one-on-one meetings and making sure that you're delivering the things to them that they want to get out of this. I mean, right now there's been such a level of uncertainty around what's going to happen, but I think that it's just important that you sit there and certainly from a perspective, that they need to know that you're there by their side as well. Whatever this is about to throw at you, we're all going to do this together.
And mate, did you find that some of the things that were affecting the team members, and we're talking about the whole team, was not just business? Did you find yourself getting into leadership areas outside of perhaps the normal scope of being a real estate business owner?
Absolutely. I mean, and I think that look, whether it's COVID or a GFC or whatever down to the markets. I mean, we know that from an agent's perspective, it's very much a mental game as well. When they're down, that resonates through their whole business. And I think obviously from my perspective, that's certainly where I need to be very, very present with these guys and girls and make sure that, that their head's right as well, because that does then translate into to what they're producing as well.
And I guess, nipping in the bud some of those, and it's understandable if some people are feeling the pressure from in a lot of different areas, but nipping in the bud where that could seep into your business and spread into the rest of the team.
Yeah, look, it certainly does. I mean, you get one person in there that starts to sort of go down that negative path. It does translate into the rest of the team. So it's really about sort of being on top of that fairly quickly and making sure that we keep everybody pepped up and positive. And the best way to do that is to keep them focused on the things that they can do and the things that they can control within their own roles as well. And obviously, from a salesperson's perspective, when they're making money and, there's some consistency to what they're providing and producing, and that keeps them happy.
And I guess, mate, obviously there's pressures on you as a business owner, whilst the government have helped out in as many different ways. How did you handle some of that, some of those difficult times for you in those very early stages where the business was suddenly turned on its side and turned on its head?
Yeah, well, I've got to be honest with you, it was complete panic mode to begin with. But I think it's really making sure that you understand the metrics within your own business as well, and making sure that you...
Which we'll talk about tomorrow.
Yeah. So, at the end of the day, it's really about just trying to put, a strategy in place as quickly as possible, particularly from a cash flow perspective, understanding what you have in the tin, understanding how you can project that forward and how far you can stretch that rubber band.
Fantastic. Well, mate, thank you for your first tip here today, turning up, being there mentally, physically for you and for the rest of the team. Tomorrow is a nice segue into mentoring the metrics of your business. So we'll have a chat about those tomorrow. So I guess this week, Mr. Andrew McSweeney from the Raywhite Carina office. We look forward to talking to you again tomorrow.
Awesome. Look forward to it. Thanks, mate.
The Daily RE Uncut show is powered by CoreLogic and supported by Printforce, Rockend and Realty.com.au. Realty.com.au is where you will see all our shows. Real Estate Talk, The Property Show, Auction Update and of course RE Uncut. We are the home of property.